But we started the company 21 years ago now. I started it with Romulus Linney and a whole bunch of other folks who came together to support Romulus. But we were so busy making the company and making the first season together that about 3/4 of the way through, I thought to myself, oh my God, we got to do a second season. You know? And I really was that steeped in just getting the tickets for it, and the box office was in my kitchen closet and all of that kind of stuff. And so I turned to Romulus and I said, you know, we gotta move on to the next year. What should we do? And he and I talked about it, and we both thought of Edward right away. And so Romulus arranged to hook everybody, the three of us, up together. And Edward came to that meeting. You know, first of all, I talked about what I thought theater should be and what this company represented. And really, that was about empowering the writer completely in the process, which of course Edward loved hearing that. Which he doesn't seem to have much trouble empowering himself. But seriously, you know, putting the writer at the center of the experience and starting there and building the season together. So we've started that relationship a long time ago, and Edward has been an advocate of this company since day one.
There are some theaters you want to be involved with much more than others. Some of the interesting things that Signature does and has done always, I have never been asked to use an actor who happened to be a star. That actor was not right for the role. I've never been pushed to make compromises, to make the play simpler when it's complex, to make it funny when it's serious. I've never been asked to distort the author's intention. This quite often results in very short runs. But that's okay. It's the only way you really should have to work. When you're doing the work of a playwright for a year, the playwright is not only as good or as terrible as his last play. You do a new play by the playwright. You do 4 or 5 other plays that he's written over the years, so people are going to get to know the nature of the work of each playwright that is being featured. And that's enormously gratifying to the playwright, and instructive and ultimately gratifying to audiences too. So the whole thing works out very, very nicely.
You know, it's absolutely a pleasure to be back at the Signature. And Jim, I don't know if you remember this, but you're the one who introduced me to Edward in the first place, and it was a, you know, it was a beginning of a wonderful collaboration that would take place for the next decade, really. But we've never done anything at the Signature. All the projects have been either Broadway or regional theater or off-Broadway venues. And so it's such a pleasure to return to this theater with this playwright. I love this piece, and I know you guys do too. It's one of those plays that's been floating around and had this brief opportunity to be seen in the 80s. And we were all very aware of it. We studied it in school. Edward is absolutely right. The Signature and what you've done, Jim, represents artistic integrity, and it's so not a commercial play, but it is such a good play, and it's such a provocative